God damn.
That's a lot.
What is that, like 40 groups at once? It's your boy Big Z.
And it's your boy Alfey.
And today
we are doing
something different.
A little history lesson.
We're cutting our hairline.
What?
Huh?
We're cutting our hairline.
Yeah, bro. Hairline reveal.
Hey. We don't do that here. We don't do that.
Bro, let's be real with the audience, bro. Let's show that hairline, bro. You and me both.
Nah, man.
Anyways.
Yeah, we're doing a little history lesson. You know, we've done quite a bit of K-pop reactions. Probably a couple dozen at this point. So, we're gonna do the history of K-pop in 20 minutes. So this one was a donation recommendation. I think it was a YouTube Super.
Bro, you just searched this up. How have you forgotten this?
Because I was searching through both sides, man. I think it was a YouTube Super. So this is a video by DKDKTV. I think we've actually checked out a couple of his videos already for some of the breakdowns. Very good videos. But before we get into it, make sure you drop a like, a comment, subscribe, and share the video, because why not?
And if you want to go that extra step, help us out, help our channel, do a donation recommendation down below, link in the description. It's just $1 to buy us a coffee, or give us a super thanks in the corner down below. It goes a long way to helping us out and the channel out. As you know, we're working our butts off for this channel. So if you could show us some love, give a little donation recommendation, it goes a long way. But let's get right into it.
3, 2,
1, go.
There's one thing this video needs.
K-pop!
K-pop.
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 K-pop. K-pop. K-pop. Korean pop.
K-pop.
K-pop, popular music originating in South Korea and encompassing a variety of styles. As you've seen, K-pop has grown exponentially. Everyone in the world, like it or not, must have seen a K-pop related video at least once.
What's gone to the moon harder, SpaceX or K-pop?
K-pop.
Yeah?
Definitely. It's taking over the whole world.
Yeah, that's true.
Either if it's Gangnam Style or a BTS video or an annoying K-pop dancing meme on Twitter. But you might not be sure on what K-pop actually is and where and when it began. Well, it all comes down to a country called South Korea, a peninsula located in East Asia in between China and Japan. Korea was doing great with its kingdoms and dynasties for more than 4,000 years until 1910 to 1945 when Korea was colonized by Japan. And from 1950 to 1953, Korean War happened, splitting Korea into North and South. Then Korea was stuck in the Cold War. Due to war and all, the economy wasn't that great. Thus, the music industry wasn't that public nor diverse. While Korea did have music like traditional sounds or Japanese-influenced trot. 1970s, economy got a little better. Jeans, acoustic guitars, young kids enjoying life, rock, folk music happened. But still, the government doesn't like too much freedom and creativity.
Bro, they were gangsta in 1970 with some jeans and some cigarettes in the bus, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
To see.
That's Korean freedom, brother.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to see kind of the past, like how similar it is to the Western world. Like,
I mean, they were trying to be a Western country.
Yeah.
Right? But also just respect that hairstyle, bro. Look at
hair's
that.
Looking luscious.
Look at that.
They want you to work. 1980s, 2 words, folk songs and ballads. First, Korean ballads kick in. People like these dudes make ballad really popular. Legendary dudes like Cho Young-pil pop out. Bands like Shinaway Drugukwa pop out. People start listening to these dudes instead of these dudes. Until the 90s, Korea gets rich. No one's unemployed. People call it the miracle of Han River. Successful Olympics, CD distribution. Kids get to wear Nike shoes.
What Olympics did they have?
I guess there was
I
in
don't-
Seoul. Surely it's in Seoul. I mean, where else would it be?
I can't remember that far back. Like 2000 was in Sydney, 2004 was in Athens, 2008 was Beijing, 2012 was London, Rio 2016,
Yeah.
Tokyo 2020, and then Paris 2024. I can't remember what was before that.
90. So it's either 96 or 92.
So Seoul 96, Seoul 92. I have no. Wasn't LA 96 or 92? LA was one of them in the 90s.
Then the other must have been Seoul.
Okay, yeah.
Buy music, go to concerts, clubs happen, dancing becomes a thing. Finally, the good old 90s arrived. Ding ding, hi, I'm K-pop. All these new genres start to bloom. Hip-hop, dance, R&B, soul, gospel, and of course the popularity of ballads and folk songs continue. Now, all these artists start writing their own songs. A lot of singer-songwriters appear like Shin Seung-woon, Lee Seung-wan, Yoon Jong-shin, Jeolname, Toy, and more. Boom, March 1992. This dude named Seotaiji appears out of nowhere. Well, actually, he was in the aforementioned rock band Shinawi as a bassist, though in the meantime he was doing his own thing and explores the world of MIDI music, aka electronic digital. He's also a born rebel. He looks different. His crew dances like crazy. His band Seotaiji Kids released an album called Yo Taeji with the title song called I Know. They just sweep all the existing awards out there. Similar groups like Deuce might be competitors, but Seotaiji Kids and their songs and performances change everything. Critics claim 1992 is the most important year in Korean pop music history. He destroys genres like trot, ballad, and folk music. They released 4 albums afterwards until 1996. He mixes up hip-hop and traditional music in Hayoga. He also likes techno and even uses heavy metal rock in Classroom Idea, criticizing the Korean education system. And then the public suddenly tries to rewind the song and thinks he's Satan or gay. They keep on tackling social issues like
This is just like how music was on the West Coast.
What do you mean?
Like-
Accusations of being gay?
Well, maybe not that, but like the Satanism and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but dude, that's like
It's the
every single... Every time there's an evolution or a revolution in music for a genre to pop up where the youth really attach to it and synchronize with it that an older generation doesn't understand or feels different, they're all so quick to slander it. Like, think about, in a micro sense, this is a lot smaller, just in the hip-hop community.
Yeah.
So 1990s, 2000s, right? We had that classic hip-hop, you know,
The
classic
gangster
90s
rap.
hip-hop, gangster rap. People from that generation or who love that music from that generation, they're the old heads. And so when, you know, SoundCloud rap, lo-fi SoundCloud, what I like to call punk rap, happened in the mid to late 2010s, where it was these super simplified beats, rhythmic, hypnotic hooks over and over again, very limited lyrics. These old heads were like, oh my god, this is trash, this is blah 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 blah. It's like, because it's for a newer generation that kind of reject the complexity and the diversification of rap that had gotten up to that point. They wanted something a little bit more with a, not an edge to it, but a little bit more dirty, a little bit more cut up, a little bit more raw.
Grimy, yeah.
Right? Because think about it. The original 90s rap had that raw factor. Because the studio quality and the attention that hip-hop was getting was very limited, so the resources were quite limited.
Yeah.
But in the 2000s, as hip-hop grew and like influential people like Kanye West and Kid Cudi came in and made it more mainstream and more like poppy, all of a sudden like hip-hop became like crystal clean and super advanced and the cutting edge of music. And so it put this shine and pristine on it. And so that was like a rejection of that. And this is the same thing here, right? You had your ballads, you had your classical music, and it had its moment. But then the newer generation wanted to reject that with something different, something crazy, something rough around the edges. And that's what happened. Sorry to go on that long tangent. Let's get back to the video.
reunification, environment, drugs, education. He's basically the Tupac of K-pop. Speaking of Tupac, he even touches gangster rap in his last album title, Come Back Home. And then they disband, more like disappear. Poof, yup, just like that, leaving one message: we've showed you everything we can try. Korea freaks out, kids don't go to school, protest, attempt suicide. People say K-pop is dead. Well, false alarm, Seotaiji Kids might be gone, but their impact still lives. Now, listening radio equals lame. On the other hand, watching TV, performances, dance music, choreographies, style, competition equals cool. Young teenage fans, official fan clubs, fan meetings, fanfics, Hasing fans, fan wars, capital, artist management. It was like a cult, and Seotaiji Kids were their idol. On the side, the tornado dance from I Know was the first dance choreo that went viral. Now, corporates see money in K-pop and idol businesses. Samsung, Doosan, Hyundai, LG, Daewoo, Lotte all make their own record companies and labels. Competition begins. Huge investments flow from their mother company. Ambitious scouting, projects, new market, but no system yet. Expenses overissued, no transparency, business based on few inner circle political connections. Result, obviously, all gone in a few years. Big failure. But then there's DSP. The founder Lee Ho-yeon had some actual experience managing big artists like Taejina, Yoo-hyul, Shim-shin, and Sobangcha. Sobangcha was actually close to an idol group model way before Seotaiji Kids in 1987. However, their music was more chop-based and had very simple dances, thus not as impactful as an idol group like Seotaiji Kids. Anyways, Lee Ho-yeon, who had the experience, makes his own label DSP in 1991. Wasn't really successful during the Seotaiji era. Then in 1996, launches a group literally called Idol that initially had decent popularity, but gets demolished by SM Entertainment's HOT. 1996 and HOT debuts, hardcore rap, distinct fashion, and hairstyles, criticizing society. HOT is made by today's famous SM Entertainment, founded by Isuman, in short, SM. Starts as SM Studio in 1989, then reforms into SM Entertainment in 1995. SM develops a systematic idol training system and earns huge success with HOT. DSP gets mad. 1997, they throw out Seotaiji Kids. SM activates their trap card. Girl group SES debuts in December 1997. And then DSP says, well actually no, IMF says, everyone hold your fire. Korea will be entering the economic crisis. People lose jobs, businesses go bankrupt, half of the entertainment labels shut down, TV music programs get cancelled. People are struggling, they're jumping off bridges, so they aren't really cool or interested about idols. Well, 1998 comes, SM be like, the show must go on. Pops out Shinhwa. DSP says, hold my beer. We present you Finkel. At this point, SM and DSP is the Marvel and DC comics of this era. HOT versus Seotaiji Kids, SES versus Finkel, Shinhwa versus GOD. Well, GOD was actually produced by a third company called JYP and wasn't actually the typical dance idol group, but I'll get to that later.
You know, when I think of K-pop, I really think of relevance in like the mid to late 2000s onwards. Like, I always thought it was like, and I mind you, like I grew up in this time period, so that's the only reference I have. But I always thought it was like a late 2000s, 2010s phenomenon, K-pop. But they're duking it out in 1996, 97, during the Asian economic crisis. Or like the remnants survived through that into 2000. Like, that's crazy. It's like literally been a 30-year struggle.
Each company and group shares the trophies and awards around music shows turn after turn, and of course on the way there were other groups like Baby Vox, Chakra, Cleo, and talented solo artists like Yoo Seung-jun, Park Ji-yoon, Lee Jung-yeon as well. Looking back, we now call this era the first generation of K-pop. Meanwhile, you might be wondering whatever happened to Seotaiji and the boys after they disbanded. I don't know about Seotaiji himself, but one dude for sure was planning something. Yang Hyun-suk, who was the rapper and dancer of Seotaiji and boys, was trying out his talent as a producer, but was kinda unlucky in the meantime. But anyways, opened up his own company, Hyun Label, in 1996, but kinda flopped with a group called Keepsakes. Then renames his company to MF Label and launches the hip-hop duo Jinushan. Jinushan surprisingly did pretty well, even though hip-hop was pretty new. Yang Hyun-suk was well known to have an influence and background in hip-hop dance and music. He was spotted in Itaewon dancing all the time before his debut dates. So this background and success with Jinushan led him to reform his company into YG Entertainment and launched another hip-hop group called One Time. First generation of K-pop was sparked.
So YG Entertainment is still around now. And
I mean, YG, JYP,
yeah, like,
they're all still here.
So I guess they're like the...
But I feel like all of those labels that he mentioned are still around.
Yeah, right. So
like, he hasn't talked about
like
what they
the
transformed
Warner, the Sony, Columbia, like the big dogs of
I guess.
K-pop.
I mean, it's hard to call them that because, like, Warner Music Group. Are you talking about like what, the record label or like the music group? Because like Warner, Sony, and Universal, like they own like every music label.
Yeah, it's crazy,
right?
Yeah.
Like they own the distribution for all these labels. I'm pretty sure if you found out, I'm pretty sure like JYP is like with Sony Group or something.
Probably.
I don't know. Anyways.
Sparked by Seotaiji and boys. Everything got systematic, like the trainee systems and all. Groups with crazy hair, crazy fashion, and dance music. K-pop's still kinda strange, new, but popular to the public. Kinda trying to imitate American pop. While corporate-backed labels died with the IMF crisis, labels with professional music background become big, like DSP, SM, and YG. It was the opening, a door to a new era, to the 21st century. Second generation begins. Wait says 1.5 gen. On the conversion to second gen, there is a transition stage. Surprisingly, a lot of solo artists who sing ballads, R&B, and groups that do do ballads or rock become super popular. 성시경, Hee-sung, Vibe, MC The Max, Buzz, The Cross, BOS, SG Wannabe. Then where'd K-pop go? Well, many talented solos were there to bridge the transition. The famous Boa, known as Asia's star, arguably the most successful solo female K-pop artist in history from SM Entertainment, got casted by Isuman himself and debuted at August 2000. Also debuted in Japan. Critics state Boa is one of the biggest contributors and pioneer in opening foreign markets for K-pop and SM. Boa gets to get all these first, youngest, most, blah 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 titles and rewrites K-pop history. Other solo artists also kept the K-pop flame burning with competitions such as Rain and Seven. Speaking of Rain, let's get back to JYP. Park Jin-young aka JYP is this dude that was active during the Seotaiji era as well. Initially got refused numerous times from labels due to his weird face and body, but finally debuts in 1994 as a solo artist. Tale is, SM himself.
Damn, imagine getting roasted like that. It's like, oh, you're a really talented artist, but your face looks weird, man.
You got a weird
It's
face.
a little too weird for the mainstream, dog.
Himself rejects JYP from an audition, but later asks in private just because he wants to buy songs JYP produced. JYP is extremely talented in dancing and also being sexy, which was a first for a male at that time. Won many number ones during the era, even with the competition with Seotaiji and Kids. Became a singer-songwriter and producer and made hit songs like Honey and Swing Baby. With that experience, goes on as a producer, producing G.O.D, once called the Nations Group, and also excavates Park Ji-yoon, who sang Adult Ceremony, also produced by JYP. And in the midst of that, makes his own company, JYP.
This is so early 2000s, like the fashion. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Entertainment. Back to Rain. Rain was a backdancer of JYP and Park Ji-yoon. JYP trained Rain and debuted him, also giving him many hit songs like How to Avoid the Sun and It's Raining. Boa from SM, Rain from JYP, Seven from YG. This is when we start to see the three companies grow and become the now known big three of K-pop, SM, JYP, YG. Another fun fact about the 1.5 generation is that many solo artists tried their luck after disbanding from the first generation groups, like Kangta, Pada, Okjuyeon, Eunjiwon. However, to be honest, their popularity wasn't like before. Except maybe Ihori, former Finkel member that was least popular among the members, but suddenly pops up with a sexy solo debut and becomes Korea's diva. Finally, it's second gen. The idol groups are back, and the public is used to the word idol. SM Entertainment introduces TVXQ in 2004. They get the Rookie Awards, actually all the awards. Gets a Taesang on their second debut year and gets a Grand Slam in 2006, another Grand Slam in 2008, Oricon chart #1 in Japan. It's not a stretch to say they basically conquered Korea, Japan, and China. SM got rich. They make more groups like Super Junior in 2005, Girls' Generation in 2007, Shiny, and FX in 2009. Super Junior becomes extremely popular with songs like Sorry Sorry in China and Southeast Asia. Girls' Generation becomes the nation's girl group with their stunning visuals and charmful songs like Kissing You and Baby Baby. They don't stop with Korea. They go off to conquer Japan with their songs G, Genie, and O, bringing all those titles from Japan charts and album sales. Shiny puts out super addictive songs like Juliet, Ring Ding Dong, Lucifer, and achieves attention from mostly Japan and Southeast Asia, eventually touring all around these areas. FX shows the experimental side of SM. They carry a unique concept with all of their songs with obscure lyrics. Their unique electronic songs get very positive reactions from professional music critics. And note that we start to see non-Korean members, such as Victoria and Amber. With all these groups, SM is now all over Asia. Now SM might be big, no group could rival TVXQ, but here comes a big group, Big Bang. Big Bang from YG Entertainment is a little different. Debuted in 2006 as 5 members from a real survival program conducted by Yang Hyun-suk himself, Big Bang places its roots into hip-hop. 2007, they released their EP Always with the song Lies. This song was so big that it made them escalate to the top immediately. Then major hit songs after hit songs like Last Farewell, Haru Haru, Red Sunset make them the unquestionable #1 group in Korea. They go on doing solo work, Japan activities, world tours, sweep awards, pointless to list achievements. They go on further with their career with mega hits like Blue, Fantastic Baby, Loser, Baby, Bang Bang Bang. Big Bang becomes the most popular, influential, listened to group.
I'm not gonna lie, at this point, like the time period, it's starting to look like the modern era of
K-pop.
of music.
Yeah.
That we can like be like, that's it looks like what you like these performances, these clothes, like you could still see that today.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a
like
little bit outdated, but yeah.
Yeah, but like you could get away with it.
Yeah.
Like when they were showing those early 2000s, like late 90s stuff, it's like, bro, this is a different generation, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But like this one, like honestly, you could probably get away with this today.
Maybe not the skinny jeans.
Bro, there's still people who wear skinny jeans. It's crazy.
But that's so far out of fashion now.
Yeah.
But the other stuff you could probably pull off.
male group can rival them in the second gen except maybe early TVXQ. The biggest point that differentiated them would be that the general public, including men, loved and sang most of their hit songs. Big Bang's leader G-Dragon produced most of these mega hit songs, not to mention his successful solo work, and lives as the biggest Korean fashion, music, and trend icon to this day. So who was Girls' Generation's rival then? In YG Entertainment, probably 21. Four-member group debuted in 2009 with a very different concept, strong female image. Releases mega hits like Fire, I Don't Care, Go Away, Lonely, I Am the Best. They were the best, ranked as one of the best K-pop groups of the past decade by Billboard, and a female group that finally offered an alternative concept from the traditional pretty cutesy girl group stereotype. Girls' Generation and 21 weren't rivals in style because they were so different, however the two groups were huge and probably the most successful girl groups in second gen K-pop history. Speaking of girl groups, we have to go back to JYP, because JYP is known as the girl group Royal Company. Wonder Girls is among one, debuted in 2007, put out major hits like Tell Me, So Hot, Nobody, which were all viral hits within the nation and Asia due to their simple and catchy point dances. In 2008 Haiwon Seoul Music Awards, they received their first Daesang as a girl group, competing with Big Bang and TVXQ. Before Girls' Generation got extremely popular, they had the nation's girl group title in 2007 to 2008. Their style was distinct compared to Girls' Generation or 21 because it was mostly retro pop or electro funk. Wonder Girls were the first to appear on an American TV show, showing the possibilities of expansion of K-pop to the West. Nobody was the first K-pop song to enter the Billboard Top 100 chart. On the other hand, JYP puts out boy groups such as 2PM and 2AM, who respectively have the Monster Idol and Ballad.
Bro, yo, who cooked on that one, bro? Who cooked on that one? 2 p.m. and 2 a.m.? Bro, who let him cook,
I'm just
bro?
waiting for 4:30, bro.
Who let him cook with that one, man?
Prince concept. 2PM does especially well with hit songs like 10 out of 10, Again and Again, and Heartbeat, also becoming a sensation in Korea and Japan. Here we see Nickun, a member of 2PM from Thailand, showing that K-pop is surely expanding beyond China and Japan. Now, it would be safe to say that the second gen of K-pop was led by the mentioned groups. There are other groups such as 4 Minute who made a strong impact and shift on the concept of girl groups. Then there was Kara, produced by DSB, and were known as big competitors to the Wonder Girls and Girls' Generation. Japan went crazy over them. Everyone knew their songs and choreographies like Step and Mr. Now, can we move on third gen? Well, maybe yes or maybe no. Some people draw the line by 10 years, as in 2000 to 2010. Some experts draw the line by sudden inflation and saturation of groups. A lot of groups start to pop up, like East, M Black, C, and Blue, B1A from Block, B, BAP, B2B, VIX, Infinite, Teen Top, Newest, and more. For girl groups, After School, Tiara, Rainbow Secret, Miss A, 9 Muses, Girls' Day, Sister, A-Pink, ESID, AOA, and more. So the groups that debuted in the late...
God damn.
That's a lot.
What is that, like 40 groups at once?
I mean, like, he just listed, like, probably seven boy groups, 7 girl groups.
That's
And he said,
14.
and more.
There's at least 40.
Easily.
I mean, like, I guess you could say that for rap. Those are individual artists. Like, you don't have 40 different major rap groups. Like,
yeah.
that's insane, dude.
Yeah.
Nah, that's crazy.
late 2000s and early 2010s are tricky to categorize.
Plus, from this point
Is
on,
that
please don't hate me
Toby?
for not going in depth
Shout
of
out
every single group or missing some of them, because that would change the title of this video to K-pop history explained in 200 minutes.
But if we were to say there was a dominant group of this transition era, it's EXO. EXO debuts in 2012 in 2 groups, EXO-M and EXO-K. Another experimental approach from SM trying to divide and expand markets. Anyways, EXO wins, tops, and grows. China is basically EXO's. EXO has the biggest and also most notorious fandom in Korea. That's how much people love EXO. They put out hit after hits like Growl, Overdose, Call Me Baby, Monster, Lotto. Their only rival might be the still yet hugely successful Big Bang. And then they slowly open the doors to third gen. Now these are some of the characteristics of the third generation of K-pop. 1. Mass inflation and red ocean of idols, saturated market. 2. Globalization as a norm, catching the global audience is a must. 3. Idol audition survival programs. Because of the red ocean of idols, naturally the mass public begins to dislike K-pop idols due to lack of creativity, overlapping concepts, and exhaustion of idol music. This is when the public starts to divide the term idol with artist. Many major TV audition programs become popular looking for real talented singers and vocals rather than visually appealing dance-based idols that only get to sing a few seconds in one song. Whoa, this is what the public thought at that time. I know there are exceptions among idols too. Oh yeah, in the meantime, in 2012, the worldwide viral hit Psy's Gangnam Style happened, getting the once most viewed video on the planet, thanks to its addictive, hilarious dance and beat. It got a number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. This was basically the first time that the entire world notices a country called South Korea and K-pop without having to mention nukes and this dude. And that's North Korea, by the way. In the third gen, despite the influx of idol groups, the only ones that survive are groups that have amazing music quality quality or musical talent or something different. Because the Korean market is so small and saturated, it now becomes a norm to have at least more than one global English-speaking member in the group. This member usually is in charge of speaking during overseas interviews and tours. Not only member-wise, but marketing and music-wise, the attempts become more globalized too, testing out new markets such as South America. In the meantime, the public and entertainment companies want a system to get the best quality idols out there, and that is by following the TV trend, by making TV audition survival programs with worldwide contestants. This system allows idols to gain publicity even before debut, and also verify popularity and talent. Although audition programs such as Produce 101 to Produce X have been extremely popular, it got caught in a corruption and manipulation issue recently, which likely put out the credibility and support towards these survival programs. Now, to name a few groups that are leading.
Okay. I find it pretty like.
So I mean, they have like we haven't got to the point where we've actually got to artists we know and have reacted to. BTS, 17,
Psy out of
like Psy, but even he said he's not necessarily a third gen. So I'm just starting to wonder, like, are they fourth gen?
I think
at this point,
I think
because like didn't BTS all these guys come out in like the mid to early 2010s?
Yeah.
So like, how are they not third gen?
Well, we're about to go into third gen, so we might just find out now. I just find it kind of like in North America, because we had like American Idol, America's Got Talent. What other singing shows do we have?
We had America's Got Talent, American Idol, The Voice.
Yeah, The Voice was a bit later, but I think American Idol was probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
And those were always meant for solos, right?
But they were so unsuccessful in actually bringing us artists.
Yeah, like not many.
Like it never happened. Like what was it? Kelly Clarkson.
Yes, yeah.
I think is like the only Idol artist to ever like become an actual like mainstream artist.
Remain mainstream.
Like none of these other people ever
actually stayed up.
became a mainstream artist, like ever.
Yeah.
Because I think at least in North America, the story of how you came up is about as important as the sound of your music.
Yeah, that is true.
Like it feels like, and what I mean by this is like, even if your story is like, oh my god, I'm from rural Nebraska, you know, I was a waitress, my mom's a nurse, my dad's a mechanic, nothing special, I'm just a really incredible singer. Like even if you have that story and then you go on these shows and then you win the show and then you get it, it's like, oh, she's only famous because she was on that one TV show. Yeah. And it kind of discredits your whole like story and narrative. And that's like the most important part to building an artist in North America.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, she was just on that TV show, that's why she's famous, duh, like, bruh. And it's like, well, actually that person was like from a rural town, like grew up like a normal person, right? But if you hear, oh my god, I discovered this artist on Spotify, her name is Jenny, and she's from a small town in Washington, you know, she went to uni and then she picked up the guitar and just learned how to play it and sing. She's like, you know, she's like a real girl, like any other girl, and like now you're a super fan, right? Like that's what, or like hood legitimacy is like, yo, bro, dude came from the trenches in Chicago, like he a real one like that, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro's from D Block or whatever, like O Block.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know,
sorry,
O Block, right?
O Block, yeah.
So like it's these stories, these narratives that give it legitimacy. Like I'm sorry, you'll never be like a legitimate artist in the eyes of people when you were like on American Idol.
Yeah.
But in Korea it does work.
Yeah, at least from what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Leading the third generation currently, definitely the girl group Trinity, Twice, Blackpink, Red Velvet. JYP's girl group Twice has earned the absent nation's girl group title since Girls' Generation, along with major hit songs that dominated Korea and Japan mostly, like Cheer Up, TT, Knock Knock, Likey, and Fancy. Interestingly, these girls were also a result of an audition program called 16. YG's girl group Blackpink has the record of most YouTube views, 56.7 million in 24 hours, with its Kill This Love music video topping Ariana Grande. Their music videos have this much views each, each, which saves my time on trying to explain and prove their popularity. Also, they're the highest charting female K-pop group on Billboard Hot 100 and 200, plus they had an epic stage at Coachella too. SM girl group Red Velvet might not be as big as the former two in size, but is always praised by the public and critics for their unique sound and high quality songs. Time magazine has highlighted their versatile musical style and named them as one of the best K-pop groups. Billboard agreed too in 2019. Fun fact, Red Velvet was the first K-pop group to perform in North Korea, and Kim Jong-un adjusted his schedule to go see them. Now let's not try to leave out many other talented, hard-working girl.
Kim Jong saw something in that group. He's like, I need to see him up close for that one.
That's the real flex.
Groups such as Mamamoo, Momoland, Luna, IZ*ONE, G-Idol, CLC, Dreamcatcher, G-Friend, Lovelyz, Oh My Girl, Uchi's Kone's Everglow, Wiki Mickey, and more. As for boy groups, it's hard to pick a definitive popularity or impact, but just to name a few, 17, NCT GOT7, Winner, ikon, Monster X, ateez, Stray Kids are definitely the biggest and most popular globally. Most of these groups actively go on world tour.
I feel like there's an elephant in the room here.
Where's BTS?
Like, he has not mentioned BTS at all. I feel like, I don't know. Okay, we'll see.
And appear on Western TV shows nowadays. And then there are groups such as
BAB, Impact, Victon, Astro, Pentagon, SF9, The Boys, Ace, JBJ, Golden Child, Intuit, UMB, Very Very, ONEUS, and more.
So many girl groups, boy groups, mixed groups, new global audience, thus various music styles as well. You name it, K-pop has it. Oh, you don't like groups, super produced modern electronic music? Maybe try IU out. She's Korea's nation's sister and also nation's singer. Been around since 2008 with numerous ballad and K-pop hit songs. Single-handedly has the popularity equivalent to K-pop's biggest idols. Then there's K-hip-hop, R&B, a whole scene of its own. Maybe check out Zico, who has an overlap background with K-pop. Then there's rock. Maybe check out bands like Day6 and Flying the Rose and more. So, it's already 2020, technically 10 years have passed again, and the line is blurring between 3rd gen and 4th gen. Then what would be the standards of dividing the generations? I can't be the one deciding, but just to add my personal 2 cents, maybe the line could be drawn by observing groups that start off already with a bigger fandom globally rather than domestically in Korea, from the pre-debut and rookie phase. In short, maybe no more validation or dependence from Korean fans needed, or there's an alternative view of simply drawing the line by post-BTS. And yes, I know y'all are screaming, what, not a single mention of BTS until now, but hold on a little bit more.
Like I feel like, because okay, so the reason why like we mentioned it is because this is supposed to be going through as a timeline historically in chronological order. Like, we're like what, late 3rd generation right now?
I think
like all these groups chronologically have existed at the same time as BTS.
Yeah.
So for him to not mention BTS whatsoever, I'm like, what's going on here? Like, there's literally an elephant in the room, because if we're going in chronological order, they exist in this timeline, and you have not mentioned them once.
Yeah.
But we'll see what the last minute's gonna hold.
I have a whole buffet for you. Well, anyways, this whole generation dividing process is a whole debate subject of its own, so let's just leave it there and throw it to the comment section. Finally, there is one group that needs a thorough separate section in K-pop history, and it is BTS. BTS started off from a
There we go. So
time.
They get their own little section.
Small company called Big Hit under the producer named Bang Si-hyuk, who was a former colleague and good friend to JYP, but split paths to make his own company. Bang Si-hyuk gathered 7 members originally and planned to make a hip-hop group. However, the concept and musical style diversified over the years. BTS didn't gain much attention during their first years, often getting mocked by their group name that means Bulletproof Boy Scouts, and apparently some or many people thought their appearances were unpretty. However, BTS differentiated themselves with other idols by speaking about the unspoken in their lyrics, such as mental health, youth problems, social issues, and the journey towards loving oneself. BTS also made their own universe and story in their music videos. They made moderate success until they got mainstream with their songs like I Need You, Dope, Save Me, and Fire. After that, every move they made pretty much became history. They topped the Billboard 200 charts 4 times in a row alongside the Beatles, appeared on multiple major American TV shows, got awarded by the Billboard Music Awards, AMAs multiple times, did a Grammys act, did a UN speech, did a cover of Times, had stadium world tours including Wembley and Saudi Arabia, sold over 20 million cumulative albums to this date. BTS has become so big that they become expressed as the BTS or Korean invasion, just like the British invasion from the Beatles by multiple critics and journalists. Many point out that it's even more significant regarding the fact that BTS's music and lyrics were not in English but in Korean. Also started off as underdogs in the K-pop industry itself, struggling without the support of big capital nor media. In the meantime, there might have been attempts to compete with BTS, for example, SM making their own Avengers by combining members from existing successful groups like SHINee, EXO, NCT into a collaborative single group called Super M. Well, they did get a #1 on Billboard 200, but many people criticized the method of bundling issues in the process. However, industry-wise, it was a fresh attempt that never happened in K-pop history, trying to officially combine members from different groups into one with an agenda to make success in the American or global.
I will say those little trailer snippets, they do look like the Avengers, man.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that's such a cheap grab.
It is, especially with the bundles. I feel like the bundles is so controversial.
No, I think the idea of like,
that too.
let's take the most popular artists, like let's say we got 6 groups. Let's take the most popular or best appealing artists from these 6 groups and make our own super group. It just feels so inauthentic and fake.
Yeah.
And like manipulative. It's like, okay, we're basically taking 6 audiences and putting it into one and praying that it works. Because like at least for like these, like, to be fair, I do still hold the critique for like K-pop groups that the whole audition process and the way they get to where they are to become a group is pretty inauthentic. It's not genuine. Because these people don't know each other when they meet. They literally don't. They're in a contest, and then they're kind of put together by executives and say, hey, you guys look like the best bunch to make a cool group. It's not authentic at all. But even with that, there's an argument like over time, like let's say they work 6 years together. These people then build a bond, a friendship, a community.
After that,
They become buddies. And so the music, you can feel it in the music that they're like a duo, a trio, you know, like a group.
Yeah.
Because they spend so much time together, they build bonds together, relationships together. This is just such a even worse of a thing. It's like we're going to take people who are already in groups, who've already built these bonds, these relationships, and we're just going to take the best of everybody and just throw them together. And just to get the audience, just to get the money, just so we could beat BTS. And
like that's like in like hip hop, that's like getting like A$AP Rocky, A$AP Ferg, Quavo, Sway Lee. I don't know who else.
No, it's literally it's literally like getting like, oh, we're gonna get J. Cole, Kendrick,
Travis Scott,
Future. Kanye, and like Rick Ross to just hop on an album, become a super group just so we could beat Drake.
Yeah. Like it's just not, it's not authentic, it's not proper. It's
like, oh, we just want to beat Drake at the charts.
Yeah, it's like,
no. I kind of hate that.
Global market. And it is these new attempts that fuel K-pop to go further on. Anyways, back to BTS, it's not an overstatement to say that BTS is probably bigger than all of K-pop combined at this point. However, from Seotaiji to BTS, many groups existed, and every time records were broken, people were surprised. Back then, no one imagined anything bigger than TVXQ, Girls' Generation, Big Bang, EXO, Gangnam Style. But here we are, K-pop is still evolving. The market is getting bigger and it's becoming more well known all around the world. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens in the future of K-pop. Will it just disappear as a trend or get even bigger, like it always has?
Interesting video.
Good
I
video,
will
yeah.
say something that I think speaks to like the origins of both genres, like for hip-hop and K-pop. There was always a corporate idea behind K-pop. I will say there really wasn't a corporate idea behind hip-hop at all. Because like, you'll never hear people in the hip-hop community, in the hip-hop circle, be like, oh, we've expanded the market, we're reaching broader audiences, we're globalizing with the hip-hop field. Like, you don't really like people. No, when people say no. So what I mean by that is people will say that looking back, like in a historical lens, and be like, look, over time it moved on and went to different communities, different countries, different audiences, and it would be a reflective take. Where in K-pop, people are like, guys, with this next generation, I really think we can hit a global audience if we just do it in more languages and we have people of like different races involved. We can really reach, like we can start penetrating the Indian market. We can get girls under 16 in the Indian market to start getting more involved in K-pop. Like nobody is doing this analysis. Like maybe they are, to be fair. Maybe at Warner Music or whatever, they are doing that. But nobody's publicly talking about it. Yeah. It's not so obvious and front-facing that it's like, yeah, we're trying to reach another audience. We're going to start getting guys and girls from like Thailand and Vietnam and Cambodia so we can reach the Southeast Asian market more, you know? Like, it's not how people approach it. And if you started talking and trying to do that publicly, openly, in the hip-hop circles, people would shun you. Because nobody likes the capitalist inauthenticness of it. It's probably happening. Don't get me wrong. It's probably actually happening, but it's like unspoken.
Kind of stays under the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that's a decent take. Good video. I think the timeline thing was a bit kind of wonky at the end, but it's fine. I'm kind of curious why there aren't mixed gender groups.
They are. He literally mentioned mixed gender
groups.
It's
not that many. Like it's predominantly like girl group, boy group.
I don't know.
Like maybe there should be some more mixed gender groups. I don't know. That'd be cool to see, I guess.
Yeah, it would be super cool. I mean, you don't really see that in like Western music either.
No, you know. I mean, but then again, you also don't see that many groups nowadays.
Like, think about it. Bands, though. Level. How many bands are mixed gender?
Not. It's less than.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not really a thing. Like, even in Western music to do that. But anyways, I digress.
Yeah.
Anyways. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this a like. This was a super interesting, fascinating video. I learned a lot in this, and it was super interesting. So give this video a like. Share it with other people who might not know as much about K-pop and learn just like we did. Comment down below. What was the most interesting thing about this that you learned today with us? And again, if you guys want us to check out a very specific video, link down below to buy us a coffee. It's just $1. Go ahead and donate, support us, guys. It goes a long way. And most importantly, we're musicians too, reactors second. If you really, really, truly want to support us, guys, besides giving a donation recommendation, you can just check out our music. Just go ahead, go to our YouTube channel. It is also in the description, our main YouTube channel. Go subscribe, go comment on one of our videos, go check out our music. It really goes a long way. We're really trying to build the AP family, guys. You can check us out on Spotify. If you have Spotify, go stream us on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer, Amazon Music, you name it, we're on it. We're called The After Party. So please go check us out. We got some new music coming up in the new year. So get excited, stay excited. Anyways, guys, K-pop, AP, A-pop.
Bro, you're missing, man.
Yeah.
K-pop, AP, history.
Bro, that was lame. That was actually mid too, bro. That was actually mid.
Peace.
Rosa, Ferrari Rosa. I'm a danger in the lane like a Felix Costa. I'll be grand tour from Milan to Turin. Yeah, I lost the keys. Now it's time to turn it. Against all the odds, we gon' make it hit, baby. You know when I hit them like I'm gon' hit a lick, baby. Get about tomorrow, cause I'm spending like I'm rich, baby. If you